Hola beautiful people, welcome to my second yoga filming online thing. I'll start off with a little bit of a saying or quote that I normally do. For want of a nail, the horseshoe was lost. For want of a horseshoe, the horse was lost. For want of a horse, the message was not delivered. And for want of that message not being delivered, the war was lost. So it goes to show that even the littlest of things that we often assume are unimportant can actually lead to much, much bigger things. So maybe taking that to your practice and knowing that a little bit of an improvement that you find from day to day throughout your practice will eventually lead to much bigger things and much bigger abilities that you might come across. So don't be disheartened about any progress you might not be making. For this practice, you probably won't need any props. Maybe a block, but that's totally up to you where you want to get that. So maybe pause it right now, go get your block or whatever you need as assistance or aid, and get ready to press play again. So welcome back. We're going to start off on our backs. So making sure that you've removed any aids away from you and just lying down on your back as if you're coming into like a mini Shavasana. I'll even invite you to close your eyes. So just stretching out the legs, stretching out the arms, allowing the palms to face the ceiling, and just feeling like the whole body can let go. And using this time to pay more attention to how your body's feeling. Maybe noticing the little movements that your body makes as it breathes, the rise and fall of the chest, maybe a slight movement of the shoulders, noticing the air as it passes through the nose. And if it's within your practice to incorporate Ujjayi breath, that slight constriction of the throat, I invite you to do that now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please just continue breathing. Now we're going to bring the legs together and take the arms up above your head, interlace the thumbs and feel a really long stretch of the body. So all the way from head to toe. And then I'm going to get you to take your arms over to the right hand side, so coming slightly off the mat, and take your feet over to the right hand side. So we're creating a little bit of a banana shape. And just as you breathe, bring some air into that left side of the body. If you want to go a little bit deeper, taking the left foot and placing that on top of the right. And that just gives you a little bit of a deeper stretch. And slowly coming back to center, we're going to take the fingers, hands, and the feet over to the left hand side. And again, if you took that left foot over the right, now maybe take that right foot over the left. And just get a little deeper into the stretch. And slowly coming back to center, we're going to bring our knees in, so bending the legs about 90 degrees. Take the feet to the edges of the mat and bring the knees in. And then we're just going to windshield wiper the knees. So imagine windshield wipers of a car, just going from left to right. Just bringing some movement into the lower spine, the lumbar region. And also allowing the hips to just move around. And once you come back to center, just pausing here. And bringing the feet in to about hip width apart. And then drawing the heels in towards the tailbone. We're going to come into a bit of a bridge flow. So placing the hands to your side with the palms facing down. Inhale, so you slowly peel the spine off the floor. Really pushing into the heels and feeling a little bit of tension in the glutes. And exhale and slowly wind down. Inhale, repeating the motion. And exhale, come down. And one more time, peeling up. And this time we're going to stay here, and we're going to try and get a little bit more height by interlacing the fingers underneath you, coming up onto the shoulders, so just stepping them in, and then really pushing through the heels and getting the hips as high as possible. Now, one thing you got to watch out for here is that the knees don't flare out. So just keeping an eye on them, making sure they stay about hip width apart. Releasing the interlace of the fingers, coming off the shoulders, and slowly allowing the hips to come down. We're going to bring the knees into the chest, and then just roll from left to right, just massaging that lower spine, that lower lumbar region. Nice. And then releasing the knees or the shins, we're going to grab the backs of the thighs and just slowly roll on your spine up and down. And we're going to eventually land in our boat pose in Navasana. And here you want to try and keep the shins parallel to the floor. Point the toes, bring the knees in as close as you can to the chest, keeping the chest nice and open, and maybe releasing the legs. Take a breath. And exhale, release down, keeping the feet and the shoulders off the floor. Inhale, bring the knees in, and exhale down. One more time, inhale, and exhale, come all the way down. Nice. It's a little bit shake of the hips, and then bring the knees back into the chest. We're going to roll again onto the spine, and this time coming all the way up into your tabletop position. So here we have our hands planted, we have our fingers spread about hip width apart, and we have our knees about hip width with the tops of the feet onto the floor. And just coming into a few cat cows here. So as you breathe in, coming into cow, as we bring our gaze up and the tailbone sticks out. As you exhale, pushing away from the mat and tucking everything in. Inhale. And exhale, push away. One more time, inhale, opening up. And exhale, curling everything in. Come back to your neutral tabletop, and we're going to create little circles as we bring some movement into the wrists, moving in one direction, moving back in the other direction. Keeping the breath flowing and making sure the palms don't come off the mat. And then pausing in our neutral tabletop and leaning the shoulders forward so that we bring a little bit of tension. So keeping the arms as straight as possible and releasing. Coming forward again and release. And once more forward and release. We're going to come in a moment into our child's pose. So taking the knees wide to the edges of the mat, bringing the big toes together, and then just folding the top half of the body down over the thighs and coming into a rest pose as we reach the fingers forward to the top of the mat. Now, if your forehead doesn't quite rest on the mat, you can bring in your aid of a towel, or maybe you chose a block. And you want to feel with every inhale, the belly expanding, pushing against the tops of the thighs. And with every exhale, feeling that the hips are resting a little bit lower and heading towards the heels. Now, child's pose, Balasana, is our home, so feel free to come here at any point during the practice. If you feel your body needs a little bit of a break, or maybe you're not quite comfortable pushing the body to the extent that I'm asking you to, always feel free to come back here. Coming back up into our tabletop, we're going to make sure the hands are towards the top of the mat, tuck the toes, and lift the hips up into our first downward dog. So as it is our first,
Everybody has the little play that they have, a little routine. So feel free to bend the knees alternately, allowing the heels to search for the back of the mat. We're aiming here to bring the chest as close to the thighs as possible. However, at the same time, we're trying to lengthen the legs and bring the shoulders away from the ears. So as you try and do these three things, make sure that the first knuckle is pushing into the mat, so you've got that stability. And once you have shuffled the knees, coming to a little bit of stillness. And then slowly walking the feet up towards the hands. Once you reach the top, keep them about hip width apart and bring your hands and grab an opposite elbow, allowing the chest to lean against the thighs, a slight bend in the legs, and either staying here or maybe moving from side to side feels nice. Releasing the hands and then slowly curling yourself up into a standing position.
Once you reach the top, a little bit of a shoulder shrug as we bring little circle movements to the shoulders, moving back. And then moving forward. Nice. Inhale and reach up with your hands. And as you exhale, come all the way through your midline, all the way down to a forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins. Try and tabletop your spine as you straighten your legs. Halfway lift. Exhale, release, and come back to your forward fold. Place the hands on the floor and take a step back with the left foot as you inhale. Step back with the right as you exhale and find your downward dog position. Inhale, we want to float forward to plank. And as you exhale, the knees draw a little circle and then lifting the hips back up, downward dog. So inhale to plank. And exhale, drawing a little circle with the knees and then reaching back up, downward dog. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Take little steps back to the top of the mat. Inhale and find your halfway lift, hands to shins. And exhale, release. Inhale, reach high to the ceiling. And exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart center. So here for just a little moment, I'm going to get you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Allow the backs of your thumbs to press against your sternum. And just feel your heartbeat as it's beating in your chest. We're going to create a little bit of warmth in the sequence. And your heart may beat a little bit faster. So just feeling that life, that vibrancy. On your next inhale, reaching high with the arms. Hands touch and through the midline as you exhale down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe your hands are now on the floor. And exhale, forward fold. Place the hands down, take a step back with the right foot. And as you exhale, left foot meets, downward dog. Inhale and float forward. And this time as you exhale, the knees drop down. Keeping the elbows tucked in, we're going to come all the way down onto the mat. So we're lying flat on our bellies. Untuck the feet, and as you inhale, gently push the chest up as you peel it off the mat. Baby Cobra, and exhale, release down. One more time, inhale, Baby Cobra. And exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push up onto the knees on the inhale, and as you exhale, lift the hips, downward dog. Inhale, lift your right foot up to the ceiling. And exhale, draw that knee through and place the foot gently between the hands. If you land with your foot a little bit back,
feel free to help that foot a little forward with your hand. We're going to drop that left knee down, untuck the back foot, and bring our hands to our front knee. So breathing here, allowing the chest to open, and maybe a slight forward motion with the hips as we open up and feel that nice stretch in the psoas muscle. If you feel comfortable here, taking the hands up and grabbing the left wrist if you're up here with me. And as you exhale, we're going to bend over to the right side, so gently pulling that left arm with you. Inhale, come back to center, releasing the hands. And exhale, bring the hands down in prayer to your heart center. Take that left elbow, place it on the right knee, and then gently open up and rinse the chest, twisting from the navel in a nice twist. Inhale, bring both hands up. And exhale, frame the front foot. We're going to step forward with that left foot, halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, release. Inhale, reach high for the ceiling. And exhale, we're going to take the left wrist again with the right hand and cross your left foot over the right. Inhale again here for length. And exhale as you bend to the right. Inhale, come back to center, swap the feet. So right over left, swap the grip of the hands. And as you exhale, bend to the left. Inhale back to center, release. Step the feet, and as you exhale through the midline, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step the feet back into your downward dog. Plank as you inhale, and chaturanga coming halfway down, knees off the mat. Inhale, open up to your upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. So that was our first proper vinyasa. So vinyasa is that movement of coming down halfway, chaturanga, into that push-up, opening up into your upward dog, and then moving into downward dog. So that option is always available. You can choose to skip that if you'd like and move straight to downward dog, but I encourage you to move as it brings a little bit of movement and breath and a bit of relief to the sequences. Take your left foot up as you breathe in. Exhale as you draw that knee into the center chest, and then place that foot gently down between the hands. Drop the right knee, untuck the back foot, and bring the hands to that front knee. Again, that slight forward motion of movement as we relax the shoulders and open the chest. Comfortable here, take your arms up. And grabbing the right wrist this time with the left hand and bending over to the left. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, draw the hands down into prayer. We're going to take that right elbow and place it on the left knee, and then once you get there, pulling the hands in towards the chest, finding that twist from the navel. Inhale, bring both hands up. Exhale, frame the front foot. We're going to step forward with that right foot, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale as you release. Inhale, reach high to the ceiling. And bring the hands down in prayer as you exhale. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. And exhale, stepping back, downward dog. Choose to stay here or flow with me in the in-breath into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Stay in your downward dog. I'm just going to explain for the next part of the sequence. I'm going to be starting with the left foot first, only because I'm going to be spending a little bit of time with my back towards you. So please excuse that in advance. So we're going to start off with the in-breath with the left foot up. Inhale. Exhale and draw that knee into the center chest. Inhale, draw it back up, straight, three-legged dog. And then bend that knee and open the hip up into your fire hydrant. So here you want to try and keep the shoulders aligned to the front, and you want to try and raise that left knee as high as you can while maintaining that downward dog shape. One more inhale and straighten the leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw that knee into the center chest, hover it for a second, and then place the foot down. Inhale, and we're going to come up into a crescent, but before we do, make sure that your feet are not on rail tracks, so they're not in front of each other. So maybe stepping that right foot a little bit to the side. Inhale, come up. And then we're going to take our right wrist with our left hand, breathe in and really reach. And as you exhale, bending over to the left side. Inhale back to center, bring the hands to touch in prayer, and as you exhale, down to your heart. Take your right elbow, place it onto your left knee, again finding that nice twist. Now we're going to come up into an open twist, opening the arms and lifting the chest, still facing to the left side. Inhale, bring your hands back up. And as you exhale, frame the front foot. We're going to walk our hands over to the back of the room into Skandasana. So keeping your right foot at a 45-degree angle and then dropping the hips as you take the left toes up. So you're on the heel. Either keep the hands down as support or bringing the hands up to prayer and just using your core to hold you up. And I'd like you to try and instead of dumping into your flexibility and sitting into it, maybe coming a little bit higher, opening the shoulders, placing the hands back down and turning yourself all the way to the back side. We're going to take the right foot into three-legged dog, breathing in. And exhale, draw it into the chest, holding it. Inhale, kick it back, three-legged dog. And then open the knee, open the hip, and find your fire hydrant. Inhale, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, draw that knee through, placing the foot gently between the hands. Check the rail track. Inhale, crescent. And then grabbing that left wrist with the right hand, and as you exhale, bending over to the right. Inhale, back to crescent, hands meet, and as you exhale, draw them back into your heart center. Take your left elbow, place it onto your right knee, and open into a twist. Inhale, bring both hands up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down, frame the front foot. We're going to walk the hands over to the back or to the front of the room. As you frame the front foot here, place both hands down and take that left foot up into three-legged dog. Stretch and then gently place it down. Stay here or flow with me as we rinse it out. Inhale, float to plank. Exhale, bending through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. And either staying here for the next 5 breaths, or maybe coming and finding child's pose if you already feel challenged. Or maybe if you want something more, bending through the elbows, coming down onto your forearms, and finding dolphin, maybe walking the feet gently in and staying here for 5 breaths. So whatever your option, choosing wisely. Staying for 1 more breath. If you're in dolphin, raising up, meeting in downward dog. On the inhale, we're going to raise the right foot up. Exhale, bend through that knee, open up. Inhale, straighten it out, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw it to the right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale to the left elbow. A little bit of a twist. Inhale, straighten. And as you exhale, draw it through, placing it gently between the hands. Inhale up to your crescent lunge. And exhale, bending to the right, taking that left wrist. Inhale, crescent. And as you exhale, bring the hands down in prayer to your heart center. Taking that twist, taking the left elbow to the right knee. Looking down to that front foot and stepping forward with the left foot and opening the arms up, making sure you keep your hips nice and low. Closing the arms, hands meet, looking back down and taking a step back. Open up into your open twist. And as you exhale, twisting around and finding warrior two as we take that left blade of the foot down and opening the arms, bring our gaze over that front middle finger. Flip the front palm on the inhale, reach up to the ceiling. One more in-breath and really reach. And as you exhale, coming a bit forward, placing that right elbow on the right knee and reaching up with the left hand. Either keeping the left hand there or turning the palm to the front of the room and taking that arm up towards the ear and creating a nice long line from the fingertips all the way down to that left foot. We're going to drop the hands down next to that right foot, walk them to the back, turning the left foot 45, finding Skandasana. Moving like a ninja, keeping the hips low to the right, Skandasana. And then lifting, straightening both legs. Hola! Keeping our hands underneath our shoulders, so our feet are parallel, we're in wide-legged forward fold. Not going to stay here, but we're going to grab our right ankle with the left hand. If that's not available, grabbing the knee, or maybe just reaching towards that right ankle. Take your right hand up on the inhale into a twist. And exhale, release. Moving over to the left, grabbing that left ankle, inhale, reach up. And exhale, release. Moving over to the back of the mat, framing that left foot. Gonna inhale and come up and find your crescent lunge. And exhale, bring your hands in prayer to your heart center. Now make sure you have enough space in front of you because we're gonna lean forward, bringing our weight into our left foot, coming into a mixture between warrior three and Dakasana. So here you want to try and stretch that right leg back, bring that right hip down and open the shoulders, finding that nice stability in that left foot. And gently placing that right foot back to the back of the mat. Inhale, reach. And exhale, frame the front foot. Bring your hand to the middle of the mat. And we're going to take the left foot to the back into a side plank. So either help it, lifting the hips, or step it back. And take that left hand up to the ceiling. Make sure you lift your hips, keeping them nice and high. Staying here for 3. Wobbles are fine for 2. For the last count, maybe taking that left foot up. And as you exhale, bring it down. We're going to come onto our left forearm and bring it at a slight angle so you've got a little bit of stability. And we're going to come onto that left foot, reaching that right hand up. Make sure the hips are nice and high so you're a nice straight line. And then bring that right forearm down so that we're in a forearm plank. Staying here for 2. Staying for 1. And then taking that right forearm, bring the right hand a little bit into the middle of the mat so you've got a little bit of an angle, more stability. Coming onto that right foot, raising the hips, taking that left hand up. And then bring the left hand down, pushing up, finding a side plank on that side.
and then gently lowering the hips so you're facing the front, coming into Dandasana. So here with the legs straight out in front of you, feet are reaching up towards the ceiling. Inhale and reach really high to the ceiling, and exhale, forward fold. Maybe reaching for the toes, maybe the ankles, or maybe just the side of the feet. Nice, releasing. We're going to take a step forward with our seat bones and lifting the feet up, finding Navasana or boat pose. Inhale and exhale, lower. Inhale, come back up and exhale down. One more time, inhale and exhale, release all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a little bit of a hug. Now this next movement can be done in two ways. One is jumping from here to low plank, or two, just placing the feet down and moving around into your Vinyasa and flowing through to downward dog. So moving into the one movement, you're going to cross your feet, just rocking on the lower back, lower spine. And you're going to create enough momentum to hop back and land in your low plank. Inhale, come into your upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. Or as I said, you can take that into a couple of movements and move through and find your Vinyasa. Inhale, take the left foot up to the ceiling. Bend through that knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten, and exhale and find your left elbow. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, find that right elbow. Inhale, reach back. Draw that knee into the center chest, and then gently place the foot down between the hands. Coming up into your crescent, breathe in. And as you exhale, grabbing that right wrist and bending over to the left. Inhale, come up, crescent. Hands meet and come down to your heart center on the exhale. I'm going to take that right elbow, place it on the left knee, twist. And then looking down, we're going to step forward with that right foot, keeping the hips nice and low, maybe opening out the arms and bringing them together, looking back down and stepping back with that right foot. Inhale and come up into your open twist. And as you exhale, winding around and finding your warrior two. So keep your focus or your drishti over that left middle finger. On your inhale, we're flipping that left palm, reversing the warrior. Staying here for two. And on your next exhale, drawing yourself through as you lean forward, drawing that left elbow onto the left knee, shooting that right hand up, or maybe turning the palm and finding a little bit of a deeper variation. Bring both hands down to the floor. We're going to walk the hands over to the back, Skandasana. Over to the left, Skandasana. And then straightening the legs, finding your wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift, and exhale, release. Option to stay here, or if you find that you're very close to the ground, finding possibly a tripod stand, if it's within your practice. There's no one to laugh or smile if you fall, so please feel free to play. I'm going to stay here for just 3 more breaths. Taking a walk with the hands over to the back of the room, framing that front foot. Making sure that you have enough space for your Diskasana when we fly. So breathing in, coming and find your crescent. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer. And then we're gonna bring that weight into the right foot, leaning forward and finding your shape. And gently placing that left foot back to the back of the mat. Inhale, crescent. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. Left hand plants itself in the middle of the mat, and you're gonna take that right foot to the back. Side plank. Bring that right hand down and finding the forearm, placing that down, opening it up. And then finding your forearm plank. And this time we're gonna walk the feet just a little bit back, so moving the heels back. So you're creating a bit of an angle between the tricep and the chest, engaging the core, making sure you're nice and tight, and breathing for 2, for 1. We're going to take our left hand, forearm down, open up into your forearm side plank. Bring the right hand down, open up into your right hand side plank. And then gently bring the hips down. Bring the sit bones to the middle of the mat, lengthening the legs, engaging the toes so they're pointing back up. Inhale and reach high. And exhale, forward fold. Taking a step forward again with your sit bones, reaching back up into your Navasana. This time maybe straightening the legs if that's within your practice. It's not within mine. Inhale and exhale, release down. Inhale, bring the knees back up and exhale down. One more time, inhale and exhale down. Bring the knees into the chest, and if you're doing the jump, crossing the feet maybe the other way, so the uncomfortable way, rocking back and forward. And opening up, upward dog and downward dog. Once you've found your downward dog, bring the knees wide to the edges of the mat and coming and finding that beautiful home shape, child's pose. And maybe keeping it a bit active by keeping the elbows off the floor. Or maybe you were like, restorative, Fiso, restorative. Taking your elbows down and just releasing the whole chest. Allowing the chest to just lean onto the tops of the thighs. Noticing if the breath is coming a little bit sharper and faster. Noticing if the heartbeat is a bit more of a thumpy. Slowly making your way back up to your tabletop. Bringing the hands to the top of the mat, releasing the feet, and then releasing the hips up, downward dog. In-breath takes the right foot up. And as you exhale, we're drawing that shin down with the right knee to the right wrist, and then allowing the body to come down. Maybe stepping a few steps back with that left foot, so that you're nice and high and nice and long. Now, if this pose is uncomfortable for you or you have knee issues, I invite you to go to your back and bring your knees in and do a reclined pigeon. But otherwise, if you're comfortable here in your pigeon, then releasing the chest down onto the elbows and either staying here or releasing even further and finding your sleeping swan. And if you feel a little bit of instability in the hips, always feel free to use your towel and prop it underneath, and that will keep that level. And I always forget to mention, keep that right foot engaged, just to bring a slight protection or insurance to the knee.
We're putting a lot of pressure on it in this pose. So you want to do as much as you can to keep it as protected as possible. Slowly walking the hands back up. We're going to take that left foot across over to the front of the room. Now, you got an option here to keep that right leg bent and cross that left foot over. We're going to come into a seated twist. So if you find this really uncomfortable to sit in and you can't sit with both sit bones down, I encourage you to straighten that right leg and follow me in taking a seated twist this way. As you can see, I am more comfortable here and I'm sitting upright as opposed to leaning over. Take your right hand to your left knee, your left hand to the back as support. Keep your back as straight as possible as you breathe in. And as you exhale, find that twist from the navel, maybe following the gaze to over the shoulder. Try and keep that right foot engaged. And slowly coming back to center, placing both hands on the right hand side and just coming into a bit of a counter twist. So just about 50% before releasing back and moving back into your downward dog, however way you want. So your inhale releases the left foot up, and exhale, draw that shin through. Place that left knee onto the left wrist and maybe walking that right foot back. Feel engaged here, so you can bring your hands off, so that's where you want to be. And again, reclined pigeon is always an option. Taking the elbows down and either staying here or maybe walking them forward, finding a sleeping swan. I really like this pose because it really engages or stretches parts of my thigh that I don't usually get to. And that outside fascia really gets a stretch. It's very yummy. Slowly walking the hands back up and then taking that right foot around. And again, finding your iteration. So I'm going to stretch my left foot out, engaging that left toe. Plant that right foot down. Right hand reaches behind me as support. And then I grab that right knee. Open up on the inhale. And as you exhale, twist around. And maybe bring your gaze over the right shoulder. Slowly disengaging, finding that half twist again, and then releasing the feet. We're going to make our way onto our backs. So coming all the way down, taking the knees into the chest with you. Again, maybe a slight roll from left to right feels nice. And then coming and finding a stationary position here. We're going to release the knees, keeping them where they are. Taking the arms in cactus to the sides, so that's just bent at 90 degrees, and then just slowly lowering the knees to the left side, and just twisting from the navel, trying to engage the core so that your both shoulders are still making contact with the mat. And maybe for a little bit more, if you're comfortable, taking your gaze over to the right. Once you feel nice and rinsed, taking the knees back up to center and then moving them over to the right side. And again, following the gaze, making sure both shoulders are making contact. Bring the knees back to center.
And we're going to come for a moment into Happy Baby. So grabbing the outside blades of the feet. And if that's not accessible, grabbing the shins. And all you're doing is encouraging the knees to either side of the chest by drawing them down, drawing the shoulders down. And eventually finding that length in the spine so that it's all connected to the mat. And this means a little bit of tilting of the pelvis. So the tailbone reaches back down towards the mat. And to finish off, we're going to bring our soles of the feet together, keeping the knees wide and drawing the feet down to the mat, and then see if you can draw them as close to the tailbone as possible. So we're in Supta Baddha Konasana, taking the right hand to the lower belly and the left hand to the center chest, what we call the heart center, Anjayasana, and just breathe here. Maybe shutting down the eyes and allowing your focus to just be around the body, the slight movements it makes, just feeling the belly rise and fall, and feeling that life-sustaining heartbeat as it pumps blood around the body. I love this pose because it really connects you to your body, how you're feeling, and I always need a stretch on the inside of my legs. Either choosing to stay here with your arms to the side and palms facing up, moving to our final shape, Shavasana, or maybe choosing to straighten the legs. Make my way a little bit further up the mat, allowing a little bit more than hip width apart between the feet, and just allowing the feet to flop open and relax. Palms are facing the ceiling. Everything is relaxed. So feel like the mat is fully supporting the weight of your body. You know, in that physics equation, every force has an equal and opposite reaction. So feeling like as much as you're pushing down into the ground, it's pushing up to support you. As we let the body rejuvenate in this position, bring thoughts to how your body's feeling now after the flow. How your body is feeling different from when you started. And maybe taking that feeling on to the rest of your day, or maybe back to bed to rest. So you can stay here as long as you need or want. Or if you're following me along, bring some gentle movement to the toes and the fingers. Some movement to the neck by turning the head from left to right. And as that movement increases, taking an in-breath and reaching your arms behind the head, interlacing the thumbs, and really stretching out, creating a nice long line with the body. And one more inhale. And as you exhale, bring the knees into the chest, curling up into a little ball. And then allowing them to fall over to the preferred side. Staying in that fetal position, either supporting the head with the arms or just letting it rest. We're going to make use of that top arm
to push against the floor, keeping your eyes closed.
And coming up into a seated position. Maybe making use of your block. Or your towel. And once you've found that nice comfortable position, bring the hands in prayer to Anjali Mudra, your heart center. With our hearts, we feel words of love and gratitude. Take your hands up to your lips, allowing the backs of your thumbs to gently brush against your lips. With our mouths, we speak words of love and gratitude. Take our hands up to our third eye, forehead, and just bring a slight bow to the head. With our minds, we think words of love and gratitude. We're going to keep the eyes closed, but gently drop the hands to the knees. Allow the spine to lengthen. And just between us, you and me, taking a deep breath in through the nose, opening the mouth and exhaling. Gently opening the eyes. I appreciate you making the time to practice with me. I'll see you soon. Namaste.